Well, back to our number 2 of Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein. It's Darren, by the way. It's Darren Bent.
Today is going to be the day.
Do you know the rest of that?
Yeah. Phoning back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you gotta do.
Keep going.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
How did you know that? I didn't know you knew that.
Yeah, of course, man. Drum roll.
Good one.
I'll give you a Beanie Man tune soon. Sing soon.
Okay, all right.
All right. Jack, I'll get that loaded up.
Yeah, you get that loaded up, yeah. Let's hope you haven't put him off. Still to come, we'll be joined by former world champion Amir Khan, but as if you wouldn't have worked it out with that wonderful version of an Oasis track, let's speak to a superstar amongst superstars. You may have read in the news recently his band's back on tour, but let's talk football to him because he loves Man City. As we say hello and good afternoon to Noel. Let's talk football to him because he loves Man City. As we say hello and good afternoon to Noel Gallagher. Hello, Noel.
All right, mate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, just back from Dublin, so feeling a bit shaky today.
Oh, what time did it finish?
It went on.
Okay, has it finished?
It went on. yeah, and eventually finished. We had to get a flight home, but it went on. It went on for a while. There was a lot of singing, a lot of drinking, and a lot of talking nonsense.
I don't know if it was that pub, but there was a famous pub that you all went to that there was loads of TikToks and what was the pub called?
O'Donoghue's.
That was it. It was that one, was it?
Yeah, it was quite the night.
How are you? Apart from that, are you good? You well? You enjoying life at the moment?
Oh yeah, couldn't be. Yeah, top of the world. Couldn't be any better.
You were nearly
couldn't be any better.
You were nearly going to swear it. Can we talk music first or football first? Where do you want to go?
Whatever you want.
Okay, let's talk music first. I came to see you in Cardiff on the first night, and then I saw you again at Wembley, and I thought both gigs were absolutely incredible. Have you, out of all the gigs you've done so far, are you stunned at just how well it's been received so far?
Yeah, completely blown away. Everyone is. It's difficult to put it into words. Actually, it's kind of every night is just every night is the crowd's first night. Do you know what I mean? So every night's got that kind of same energy to it. But it's been truly amazing. I'm not usually short for words, but I can't really articulate it at the minute. To be honest.
Can I ask you, because I was in Cardiff waiting there for the first time for you to come on stage. I was quite emotional about it. People I was with were quite emotional. I just wonder how you were feeling with you maybe 5 minutes to go and you're on the ramp, you're just about to go on stage with, it was you and your brother Liam and the rest of the guys. How were you all feeling at that moment? Because it was in a moment when no one really thought that was ever going to happen again.
Well, we're not really a band who kind of have huddles before we go on or anything like that. I can't speak for anyone else, but for me personally, I grossly underestimated what I was getting into. It was kind of, after about 5 minutes, I was like, all right, can I just go back to the dressing room and start this again? Because this is way I've done stadiums before and all that, but I don't mind telling you, my legs had turned to jelly after about halfway through the second song, and I could have done with going back and taking a minute, but it's been an amazing thing. It really is an amazing thing.
No, is there a particular stadium or arena that you're about to play at that you're really looking forward to?
You need to take some singing lessons, you mate.
Hey, listen, he was not shocked to know all the words. He was.
Sorry,
he was shocked to know all the words.
Who doesn't know the words to Wonderwall?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Is there a place I'm looking forward to playing? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
The River Plate Stadium in Buenos Aires.
Wow.
In November. It's the second last show, and we played there a couple of times, and it's the Argentinians are without doubt in the top 5 places for us to play in the world, and it's the furthest away from Ireland and Manchester. But yeah, everybody is looking forward to the River Plate because it's a special place for us.
Just going back to the gigs you've done, there was that moment at the end of the first gig where, as it all finished, you and Liam were walking off, and you gave each other a little hug. How emotional was that for you? Because it looked pretty emotional.
We're not those kind of guys, really. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of it's great just to be back with Bonehead and Liam, and just be doing it again. I guess when it's all said and done, we'll sit and reflect on it. But it's great being back in the band with Liam. I forgot how funny he was.
And also his voice. Everyone has said, "Oh my God, his voice is unbelievable," and it is.
It's AI.
But do you know what's funny? I was thinking about this the other day when I was thinking, right, the next time I'm going to speak to you, I'm going to ask you this question, because everyone is saying Liam's voice is amazing, but your voice is pretty amazing still as well, right? No one's mentioning that.
Well, that doesn't. I'm the songwriter. You know what I mean? I'm not really a singer, to be honest. But Liam's smashing it. He's. I'm proud of him. He's kind of. Having been a song front in a band for 16 years, I know how difficult that is. You know what I mean? And I know, and I couldn't do the stadium thing like he does it. It's not in my nature. But I've got to say, man, I kind of look at it and I think, good for you, mate. He's been amazing.
One last question, then we'll move on to football. Lots of talk about the end of this tour, it not being the end. Nebworth's been mentioned. What's your view on when the tour stops?
Right, let's talk about football.
Okay, fine. Are you watching much of it? We had the weekend. I spoke to you over the weekend, but I didn't know. I hadn't looked if you were gigging that night, but I assume you were, right? On Saturday?
Saturday we were in Dublin, and so we've seen City and we've seen United Arsenal. And thank God the season's back. Yeah. And it gives you something to focus on at the weekends. I don't know why this kind of summer I felt it more. I felt missing the Premier League more. Probably because we didn't win anything. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you want to get back into it straight away. But we watched all the big games.
I don't know about you. I do feel that going into this season, usually everyone puts City right at the very top of their favourites, but this season for some reason people weren't. They were putting Liverpool and bizarrely Arsenal in second place and you third. From the majority of people I spoke to. But from the football at the weekend, I thought you looked the best. I know it's early days. I know there's only one game. I thought you looked the best. Do you think there's less pressure going into this season on Man City than there have been for a long, long time? Yeah,
I mean, it's all on Liverpool, really. They've spent big, because they never spend money, of course. So they spent big on, expensive players. It's not like they bought 8 or 9 players. The lad that came from Germany, whatever his name is. They spent big money on him, and he looked a bit anonymous to me from what I've seen. But as weekends go, I'd say City won the first weekend. I was pretty amazed at how good and fluid it looked, because usually we start slow, but again, it's kind of like, it's one game, and you don't know what the opponents are going to be like next week, and then. We always say it doesn't really get going till March. You've just got to be there. You just got to be in and around it, maybe 6 points off the top or 6 in front or whatever. The new Reinders looked amazing. The keeper looked solid. Ait Nouri looked great. Turkey looked great coming off the bench. It's great having John Stones back. Nobody's talking about Oscar Bob, who was as big a miss as anything for us last season. He was brilliant. So all the signs are good, but I know Pep's like doesn't, first game he's like, we started great last season. Do you know what I mean? We were great until October, November, and then the wheels fell off. But Erling looks sharp, so as weekends go, look great.
You said it there about Manchester City. I thought you guys looked absolutely incredible as well. How important do you think it is then, Noel, that the likes of you, Arsenal, Liverpool, you all have to start well? Because the amount of money that all the teams are spending, it almost feels like if you do drop off early, that you might not recover. So do you think it's important that they all start off really well?
Yeah, like on Sunday, we was watching the game in the dressing room, and there's Arsenal fans on the crew and the odd United fan. And we were saying the pressure's on Arsenal, really, because, they have to win because all the other teams won. And, if you go 6 points behind early doors and you've still got the big teams to play, that can work both ways, right? You can claw it back. But, Arsenal usually fall behind and you don't want to do. It's almost like now if you lose 2 games, the league's over.
Yeah.
The standard's been set so high. if your first 6 games, you really need to win those first 6 games, to give you the confidence. But I actually think it might be quite close this season. I think there could be the 4 could be in it.
Who's the 4th? Chelsea.
I don't know. I think United are going to overachieve this season. They look really good against Arsenal.
They did.
They look good.
Yeah.
They deserve the draw. And.
Sorry, hold on. Are you saying that United might be in the mix?
No, I think they'll overachieve. I think people are saying, well, if they finish in the top 10, but I think they'll be. I think they'll take points off the big teams for sure, and I think Tottenham will too. And I think Chelsea will do what Chelsea do. They'll flatter to deceive, but they'll be there or thereabouts. But I think there might be 3 or 4 all the way up to March, April. I think.
I said to Benty yesterday on the show, we were talking about the Arsenal game, and I said that United fans would have come out the stadium, not to do with the result, but the performance, happier. United fans would be happier than the Arsenal fans, because there was quite a few new faces on show for Arsenal, and none of them really looked that special to me.
Well, out of all the teams that I've seen over the weekend, the team that has improved the most was United, who were laughably appalling last season, and actually with Mbermo and Cunha, and they looked like they looked really well. That's to say really good, but they looked pretty good, and they deserve something out of that game. And it'll make games against them now a bit more spicy this season.
No, going back to your side, Manchester City now, it obviously looks like Ederson, who's absolutely one of the Premier League greats, could be on his way. You've obviously signed...
Oh, really? Right, okay.
You've signed James Trafford, who's a good goalkeeper, but you're now being linked to Donnarumma. I mean...
I'm not sure City would 50 million on a keeper they can get for now soon. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure. If we'd have gone to Wolves on Saturday and James would have played and we'd have got beat 3-2 or something, there might be a case for it. But actually looking at him, he just looks quite solid, and he looked good with his feet. He looked unflappable, came for the crosses, caught everything, made a couple of decent saves. Donnarumma was a great goalkeeper, Champions League winner. You can't have enough of them in your team, but he might be great for Trafford to learn off him. But I don't think there's an urgency there. I think we need a right back more than anything. We're probably crying out for a right back.
What's happened to Ederson? Because it wasn't that long ago, the discussion was, who's the best keeper in the league? Is it him or Alisson? And now all of a sudden, he's been linked with the move away. Why is that?
I don't know. I haven't got any intel for you there. I don't know.
Do you think his form has dropped now?
You'd have to say a little, yeah. I reckon if you talk to him, a lot of City fans would say yes, a little. He's not been as solid as he was, but that's because the defence in front of him has been shaky. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if he wants to leave, he'll always be a legend. He's one of the greatest keepers we've ever seen, but, we're not going to replace him like for like. The same with De Bruyne, people's going on about Reinder been a replacement for De Bruyne. You're not going to replace Kev. He's one of the best passers of the ball we've ever seen. But Reinders has got a little bit of Yaya in him. He's got a little bit of Silva in him. He's got a little bit of Gundogan in him. He looks like an all-round player. But if getting back to Ederson, if he wants to go, he should go. We'll clap him out. He's been an absolute titan for us.
Are you happy with where the squad's at then, Noel? Because, again, you looked fantastic. I think Reinders, out of all the new signings, has probably looked the one with the real star power. But are you happy with the squad, the numbers? You look obviously going into this season?
The numbers, no. If Pep says it's too big, then it's too big. But, if you look at the players who weren't even on the bench, Rodri and Foden, and there's it's too many. But the quality is unbelievable. And I think once they're all fit, there's going to be a scramble for places, but we don't know what it's going to be like in 2 months. But as weekends go, that's pretty good for us.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Let me ask you about 2 players. One's still a City player, one isn't. Phil Foden, big season for him. And are you surprised Jack Grealish left, or was left on loan?
Am I surprised he's gone on loan? Not after what happened. I think the writing was on the wall after, like, when he didn't get on in the cup final. And I think it's good for Jack. Jack needs to play, and I think he'll be good for Everton once he settles in and they play him in his right position in the middle of the field. And who was the other one?
Foden.
Was it Phil?
I think
Foden.
Big season.
Yeah. He's got a big season coming up for him because because he's so young, we forget that, right? But I think when the team is struggling, Phil's not a player that can drag a team along with him yet. He's too young, do you know what I mean? He's just like a kid, you know what I mean? So I think if the team plays well, Foden will play well. He was brilliant in when the treble season and the season after that because the team was purring, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I've seen Phil at Eaton Park when City played there. He knows he's got a big season in front of him, and he's up for it.
No, do you think Jack can get himself back in England squad by playing week in, week out for Everton?
I could not give a monkeys.
I saw you answer a similar question to that the other day. I think it was the other day. I have to say that when I saw you at Wembley, quite a few of the Man City boys turned up, and they all love you, by the way. I was speaking to John Stones for a bit. I've never met him before. What a lovely fella he is.
Mate, honestly, he's just the dude of all dudes. He's the king, man. We love him there. He's just a really great lad, and it's so brilliant to see him back. If we keep him fit, and in the team, I think we've got a great chance of the league. But I'm glad you said, you texted me saying what a lovely lad. He is a lovely lad, and he's a brilliant player as well.
He was one of those, because when I was chatting to him, there's a few people in that room that obviously assumed I knew him, which I didn't. And they're like, "Oh, would you mind if my son had a quick picture with John?" I was like, "Not to John, would you mind?" No problem at all. No problem. Chatting to the kids for ages. What a lovely fella, honestly. Yeah,
no, he's great. He's great. He's an example to all the other young lads coming through there. He's like, he's always got time for. Every time I go there with my kids, he's got time for everybody. He'll always come and have a chat, and he's always got a smile on his face. Yeah. And he's not, Pep loves him. He's not really a troublemaker or anything. You never hear anything about him. He's just one of those great, majestic defenders. Yeah.
I'll let you go in a sec. Where are you off to now? How long you got off before you're flying? Right? Where are you going next?
We're going to Toronto on Friday, and then we're in the States for the best part of a month, and then Mexico, and then back for 2 more Wembleys, and then off to Japan and Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, right? Whenever your name is mentioned, if I put out a text or a tweet or whatever saying you're on the show, I get inundated with, "Can you get me tickets? Can you get..." Right? And I also, when it was announced your tour, I got a text from a Tyler who did my bathroom about 11 years ago, just saying, "Any chance you can ask Noel?" And I was like, "Who is this?" What are you still getting texts from people you've hardly met or you don't know, still asking you for tickets? Is it still insane?
Yeah. Well, you can kind of predict it. Like the week leading up to Edinburgh, for instance, it's like I've got a few Scottish mates up there. They've not been, and a lot of them are last minuters. And but what was interesting is when it all started, the ticket sales and all that, there was a few people who I would have expected to from looking for tickets who didn't. After the first gig, my phone just exploded. So I think a lot of people were thinking, I don't know, do you know what I mean? And once they kind of seen all the thing on the internet, there was a scramble for it. But we try and get as many. I mean, the one thing that is actually quite sad is that there's a lot of people who haven't got to see us, which is a shame. But you see like thousands of people outside gigs, like singing in the streets, and it's mental what's going on. It's like, this is more. It's more than the band. It's more than the songs. There's something else going on that we've not quite been able to put our fingers on yet.
Yeah, they're easily getting to see you at Nebworth.
Right, when are we doing that?
No, listen, I'm guessing everyone wants a party at the moment, so I genuinely, hand on heart, really love the fact you've come on our show. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much.
No worries. No worries.
Have a nice couple of days off, and I'll see you soon.
Cheers, Noel.
See you later, mate. Bye.
Thanks,
bye.
There you go. We're very lucky he comes on our show.
Yeah, very lucky.
We're very lucky. We are massively over. My producer's having kittens, so let's go to break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the teams that could be at the bottom of the Premier League come May. Usually it's 2 or 3 that we know of.
We've probably got 2 or 3 minutes when we come back.
When we come back, we'll be talking for about 90 seconds, and then we'll go to another ad break. Right.